And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler. It's time for another edition of the Gage Bradshaw Show. Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's lacrosse coach Gage Bradshaw. And Gage, unfortunately, the opener against Tusculum gets canceled due to weather. But talk about how you guys kind of used the extra time to get ready for your opener now coming on Saturday.
Yeah, our Tusculum game was on a Monday, so it was kind of a weird start to the season. We admitted that. But then I think with the cancellation, there's always a silver lining. We got a full week to prepare, right? We get a full week to get our affairs in order, make sure we're ready to rock, get all the prep in, all the scouting report stuff in, and watching all the film we need on a more normal week. So, it turned out to be a good turnaround for us.
And with the snow outside, you guys have had to adjust some practice times, practicing some inside, going over to the Highlands. Talk about how you guys have handled that situation, dealing with the cold and still getting ready for a game coming up.
Yeah, I think our guys, understand it's by any means necessary, right? Whether we're in the Ox Gym, right, getting wall ball done, doing stuff in sneakers, whether we're up at the Highlands, and we are fortunate enough to have that facility right in our backyard, so to go up there and play. But I think our guys know, man, you win and die on prep, and so I think we've just done everything we can outside of the turf too, right? In the film room, in the weight room, making sure we're getting our stretches in, making sure we're getting our wall ball in. I think all those things are important as well. So I believe that's how we've prepped to our best of our ability.
And we talked about it last time. You guys are really excited to get on the field. There's a lot of competition on the field for you guys for different spots. Talk about how that competition has kind of helped fuel that readiness for the season.
Yeah, I think we talk about, within, internal team competition, right? If the offense does X, then the defense needs to do Y. And if the defense does X, then the offense needs to do Y. Kind of, here's the answer, how are you going to respond? And I think our guys are very, competitive, very chippy. They want to play. It's a tough group. Like I said last time, it's nice for me as a coach. I don't have to, build up effort, right? I don't have to coach effort. Our guys are playing tough, and it's awesome. So I think for us to watch that kind of turn into competitive juice to have a better result for game days is awesome.
And along with your players coming back, you have two new additions to the coaching staff, Isaac Wiley and Lucas Stam. We didn't get to talk about them in the preview, but talk about what those two have brought to the program and got your guys' preparation. Yeah,
it's just nice to have an assistant coaching staff that's all in. Coach Lucas, Coach Isaac. They're all in. They're Wheeling guys. They're local. Played at the college level. Played at the NCAA level. So I think for those guys to get extra eyes on the team, that maybe things I was missing last year, it definitely helped. Right, it's helped a lot. They've been great. Keeping me even keeled as well. Kind of working as a unit. As we need to do as coaches. So they've been a great addition.
Currently joined by Wheeling University head men's lacrosse coach Gage Bradshaw. And Gage, with that opener being canceled, you guys got to be road warriors now in February. You're on the road this week, then you have a couple weeks off before you're on the road again. Talk about how the team handles the road and kind of making sure everything stays routine.
I think it's how you look at it, right? I think it's the perspective of road trips. I think you can make any game a home game. It's just how it's how you view it. I think our guys do a pretty good job. When we stop for lunch, when we stretch together as a team, when we get on the bus and the camaraderie and the team bonding that happens, throwing on the movies or, listening to music, doing things like that. I think it allows our guys to still feel like, there's a home away from home on that bus ride, right? Especially in the hotel, team meetings, team film. I think we try and make it as much as we try and make it feel like Bishop Schmidt as much as we can, right? So I think our guys do a good job of handling that and have the maturity to do so.
And you guys getting ready to take on Lincoln Memorial this week, a team you've seen over the last couple of seasons. Talk about them and kind of what they're bringing to the table.
Yeah, they've returned a lot of offensive starters. They've graduated or lost a lot of defensive starters, so I think for us, just making sure that we understand that, we're a new team. They're a new team. We have to play the cards we're dealt. We have to play the team this year, right? You can't play the 2025 Lincoln Memorial team. You got to play the 2026 Lincoln Memorial team. I think on the flip end, we're trying to focus on us. We're not the same team in 2025 that we are going to be now in 2026. We're taking all the positives and all the teaching moments with that and, making sure that we're putting out our best result against a different-looking team for this season.
And finally, as you guys get ready to take the field this weekend, what can fans expect when they see the Cardinals on the field for the first time?
A lot of juice, right? Our guys play, for each other. They play hard. I think they do really enjoy being around one another. We talk about the family aspect here, part of our culture standards. I think our guys, man, they get on top of each other. They hold each other to a standard. I think, practices are intense one way or the other on the offensive, the defensive end, because guys want to be great. So I think, if anything, you're going to see a team that plays hard, right? You're going to see a team that plays tough, a team that's going to get better every week, and a team that wants to win. I think we're really hungry, and, we understand who we are as a unit. We know our identity, and I think it's now time to, go out there this season and prove that every game. 1-0, 1-0, 1-0.
Thanks, Gage. Good luck this weekend. Can't wait to see you out there.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Zach.
For Wheeling University Athletics, I'm Zach Ziegler.
And I think it's very important for everybody to be engaged because that everybody's on the same page.
It's about, who's willing to change gears at the right time.
Go out, go have fun, and just take it to them.